Do you believe that the day you were born quietly shaped who you are? Each day carries a mark, a gift from the universe, engraved in you from that very first cry. And if you are a Sagittarius, you were born with a flame that never dies. That flame is not just to light the way, but to push you forward, even when the whole world tells you to stop. Because Sagittarius doesn't move to escape, but to seek. It's not fear of staying still, but a heart that's always yearning for farther horizons, for deeper meaning. To you, the world is never confined to a single map. The answers are never just one. And life is a lesson that never truly closes. That's why you fear repetition, fear being trapped in patterns and routines. You need to try, to fail, to stumble on your own. Every scar you carry is not a failure, but a sign that you have truly lived. You were born to fit work that demands exploration, creativity, and flexibility. But that flame will be smothered if you partner with those who are too rigid, too bound by rules. And sometimes others don't understand why you, having everything, would still choose to start over. Why, even when happy, you would still long to leave. But for you, staying isn't happiness. Staying is losing yourself. Behind that optimistic smile is a soul that's always restless, always craving to find its own path, its own truth. You love freedom, not just to move, but to think, to believe, to choose your own way. And this longing, it wasn't born by chance. It was planted on the day you came into this world, the day the map of your life drew its very first lines. Because not every Sagittarius is the same. Each birth date carries its own source code, its own arrow pointing in a unique direction. So, on the day you were born, where did your first arrow aim? Let's uncover the meaning behind each birth date to understand why the Sagittarius heart has never known how to stand still. Born on November 22, you are the first arrow released from the bow, forging a path where no one has ever set foot. Within you lies a blend of Scorpio's raw instinct and Sagittarius's longing for freedom, making you a natural trailblazer who loves breaking molds. Where others see risk, you see opportunity. Where they choose safety, you choose experience. You might suddenly change direction, pack your bags, and set off just because of a dream calling you. Some may call you impulsive, but you know, not trying would mean a lifetime of regret. You thrive in creative, exploratory, flexible environments, but you should avoid partnering with overly conservative people or rigid projects, as they can easily drain your fire. Born on November 21st, you carry an unquenchable curiosity. Since childhood, you've been asking why, and as you grow, your questions only deepen. To you, the world is a giant puzzle, and each day is a piece waiting to be uncovered. You love knowledge, crave exploration, and are often the playful philosopher in your circle, the one posing questions no one else thinks of. You fit well in research, education, media, travel, but should avoid environments that are rigid or mechanical because they risk killing the curiosity within you. And remember, not every question needs an immediate answer. Sometimes the journey of seeking is the answer. Born on November 24, freedom isn't a choice for you. It's instinct. You can't stand feeling trapped, hate being confined, and always need your own sky. A natural adventurer, you long for horizons yet to be reached. In life, you're prone to changing jobs, homes, not out of instability, but because you need renewal to feel alive. You thrive in flexible, creative, unstructured fields, but should avoid partnerships that are environments demanding long-term commitments, because the tighter they hold, the more you want to leave. And remember, true freedom isn't tied to a place, but the feeling you carry inside. Born on November 25, you carry a light that never goes out. Even when life throws challenges, you keep believing, keep smiling, keep moving forward. You inspire others, always finding a bright spot even in the darkest moments. You can't stand constant complainers, and being around them drains your energy. You thrive in positive environments that encourage growth, but should avoid working with pessimistic, faithless people. They can pull you down. And remember, optimism is a gift, but you don't have to be strong all the time. Courage isn't about never falling. It's about daring to fall and then standing back up. Born on November 26, you carry a heart full of empathy. You're the kind of person who'd stop in your tracks to help a stranger, believing everyone deserves love, forgiveness, a second chance. That trust sometimes leaves you hurt, but you can't stop believing. You thrive in education, psychology, social work, places where you feel you're creating something good. But avoid trusting or partnering too easily with unclear, exploitative people. They can drain you. And remember, setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's protecting your heart, so you can keep loving. Born on November 27, you refuse to settle for mediocrity. There's always a voice inside calling, there's more, there's further, there's bigger. You're driven to break limits, not just to dream, but to leave a mark no one can forget. You thrive in business, the arts, sports, or any field that lets you reach higher. Avoid partnering with those who lack patience or tend to give up. They'll slow your stride. And remember, great ambition is a fire, but it must be fed with patience. Sometimes the strongest arrow is the one pulled back the longest. Born on November 28, frankness is your nature. You hate beating around the bush, hate deceit, and always speak your mind, even if your words might hurt. To you, a painful truth is still worth more than a comforting lie. In life, you're a loyal friend, a teammate who never betrays, a lover who doesn't hide feelings. Avoid working with overly sensitive people or those who can't handle blunt feedback. They may misinterpret you. And remember, honesty is a strength, but also a blade. A truth spoken kindly is still the truth and keeps hearts close. Born on November 29, you carry a tender, restless soul. One part of you craves freedom, another longs for a place to call home. You travel, but your heart searches for an anchor. You fly, yet hope someone's waiting for you. You often feel lost, struggling to find where you belong. You love deeply, but fear abandonment, living between fragility and depth. You thrive in environments that nurture emotions, where your presence is recognized. Avoid partnerships with non-committal people. They only heighten your insecurities. And remember, belonging doesn't always mean a place. It can be a person, a feeling, or even yourself. Become your own home, and peace will find its way to you. Born on November 30, you're the warm flame of any group. You bring positive energy, smiles, encouragement, making others feel at ease just by being there. You're a natural glue, fostering joy, lifting spirits, yet you tend to forget self-care, risking burnout from giving too much. You thrive in roles that foster connection, support, and motivation. Avoid positions that place too much responsibility solely on your shoulders. It can drain you. And remember, even a warm flame needs refueling. Pause, replenish. Only when full can you continue sharing that warmth. Born on December 1, you possess extraordinary endurance. You may grow tired, stumble, but you never give up. You embody a spirit that says, keep going, even when others stop. Keep fighting, even when results aren't yet visible. This steadfastness takes you far, beyond limits others fear to approach. You thrive in fields demanding perseverance and long-term goals. Avoid partnerships with impatient, hasty people. They'll exhaust you. And remember, persistence is a strength, but knowing when to pause or change course is a form of courage too. Born on December 2, you carry a rare, joyful energy. You're the kind of person who easily makes others laugh, who can melt tension in any room. You're the lovable clown of the group. Yet few know that behind that smile sometimes hides deep inner struggles. You thrive in fields like media, entertainment, the arts, places that nurture creativity and joy. Avoid rigid, colorless, monotonous environments. They'll easily dim your fire. And remember, bringing joy to others doesn't mean you must always be happy. Those who shine light for the world also need a quiet corner to rekindle their own flame. Born on December 3, you live for ideals. You're always reaching for lofty goals, daring to dream big, and daring to pay the price for those dreams. To you, nothing is scarier than a life without meaning. You're suited for careers of influence, education, law, media, politics, places where you feel you're contributing to change. Avoid collaborating with people driven solely by self-interest. They may leave you disillusioned. And remember, an ideal is but be sure to keep a corner of that flame for yourself. Sometimes, saving yourself is part of the mission too. Born on December 4, you are multi-talented. You're good at many things, passionate about many fields, and find it hard to stick to just one path. The world inside you is a vibrant canvas. You refuse to be confined to a single frame. You're prone to switching careers, hobbies, passions. Others may see it as lack of focus. You see it as diversity. You thrive in work that demands flexibility, versatility. Avoid working with controlling or rigid individuals. They'll make you feel trapped. And remember, being multi-talented is a gift, but don't let it scatter you. Choose a goal big enough to gather all your passions toward one direction. Then your strength will multiply. Born on December 5, you have a heart more sensitive than it appears. You love deeply, trust deeply, feel deeply. Even a careless word can linger in your mind for days. Yet you hide your emotions behind a smile. You're a loyal friend, a devoted lover, but vulnerable to hurt because you expect so much. You're suited for roles requiring sensitivity, listening, care. Avoid partnering with careless, insensitive people. They're likely to wound you. And remember, a sensitive heart is a gift, not a burden. Learn to let go of what's not yours to carry, and save some of that tenderness for yourself first. Born on December 6, you embody the spirit of adventure. You can't stand repetition, monotony. You need change, challenge, journeys. Every new land is a piece of yourself waiting to be discovered. You're drawn to jobs tied to movement, travel, research, photography, journalism, places where experience is your greatest teacher. Avoid fixed, restrictive environments. They'll stifle your fire for exploration. And remember, going far is wonderful, but don't forget to find your way back. Sometimes, what you're seeking is already quietly waiting inside your own heart. Born on December 7, you're not good at hiding things. You speak your mind, say what you think, love and hate clearly. To you, the painful truth is better than a pleasant lie. You hate beating around the bush, hate pretense. You're a trustworthy person, a loyal friend, a straightforward partner. Avoid working with overly sensitive people, those easily offended. They may struggle with your honesty. And remember, honesty is a strength, but learn to speak the truth with love. A gentle truth is still the truth, yet preserves the listener's heart. Born on December 8th, you carry an innate creative spirit. You reject ready-made formulas. You love doing things differently, thinking differently, walking paths no one else dares. Every day is a chance to experiment, to break the mold, to do what no one expects. You thrive in art, media, startups, places demanding constant innovation. Avoid rigid jobs with little creative space. They'll easily suffocate you. And remember, creativity is a gift, but sometimes even a beautiful painting needs a frame. Not every framework is a limit. Sometimes it's the pedestal that lets your art shine. Born on December 9, you possess a sensitive soul, easily moved by beauty, by small things. A good song, a beautiful painting, a touching story is enough to touch your heart. You empathize easily, share easily, shed tears for others' joys or sorrows. You're suited for work that connects with emotions, art, psychology, education, healing, places where you feel you're reaching people's hearts. Avoid negative, high-pressure environments. They'll wear out your emotions, and remember, don't let feelings sweep you too far. Learn to anchor yourself. A heart that knows how to love also needs to be loved in return. Born on December 10, you have an endless desire for adventure. Today's destination becomes tomorrow's starting point. Today's success is merely a stepping stone for a bigger dream. You're never satisfied because you always hear the call. There's more, farther, bigger. You're prone to changing jobs, places, goals, not from failure, but from craving new challenges. You thrive in mobile, exploratory, creative industries. Avoid overly rigid environments. They'll drain your fire. And remember, adventure is a strength, but keep an anchor, love, a family, a belief, so you always have a place to return. Born on December 11, you carry sharp intelligence and foresight. You don't just see the present. You always ask, what's next? You plan ahead, think long-term, rarely swayed by emotions. You're suited for advisory roles, strategists, managers, positions requiring vision. Partners trust you for your solid preparation. But avoid working with overly emotional people. They may clash with your logical approach. And remember, foresight is an advantage, but sometimes a flower by the roadside deserves a pause, even if just for a minute. Born on December 12, you carry a special gift. The ability to ignite others. A single word, an action, a story from you is enough to make others want to rise, to change, to dare. You have a natural charisma. Without even trying, people believe in you. You're suited for roles like teacher, coach, mentor, speaker, Places where values are shared and spread. Places where your 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 values are inspiring others is a gift. But don't forget to keep your own flame alive. A torch burned out cannot continue lighting the way. Born on December 13, you possess a rebellious spirit by nature. You hate being controlled, hate irrational rules, hate the phrase, "it must be this way." You love breaking molds, setting your own rules, doing what no one dares to do. You thrive as an entrepreneur, artist, founder. Fields that demand big thinking, bold doing. Partners admire your courage, but avoid working with overly conservative people. They may block your path. And remember, rebellion is a strength, but some rules aren't meant to bind, they're meant to protect. Know which limits to break and which boundaries to honor. Born on December 14, you carry natural generosity. You're willing to give your time, effort, money, simply for the joy of seeing others happy. In life, you're suited for community work, charity, roles that help others. Partners value your open heart. But be cautious. Generosity is beautiful, but don't give until you're empty. Learn to say no when needed. A hand that knows how to hold back can keep opening again. Born on December 15, you have an unquenchable fire of passion. You don't do things halfway. If you do it, it's all in. If you love, it's wholehearted. You're likely to succeed in art, sports, any field requiring inner fire. Partners love your enthusiasm, but don't forget, passion is fire, but don't let it burn you. Knowing when to rest, to recharge, is how you keep the flame burning long. Born on December 16, you're a philosopher at heart. You always ask why, always seek deeper meaning behind everything. In life, you're suited for philosophy, psychology, education, fields that require reflection and the search for meaning. Partners appreciate your profound insights. But remember, not every question needs an immediate answer. Born on December 17, you love exploration. Not just outward journeys, but the world within. You're drawn to meditation, spirituality, abstract art. Your work thrives in environments that nurture inner depth. Partners see you as quiet but profound. And a gentle reminder, the journey of self-discovery lasts a lifetime. But don't forget to step into the outside world. The inner world is beautiful, but the outer world also needs your presence. Born on December 18, you carry a natural ability to inspire. A single word, a story from you, is enough to make others want to rise, to dare, to change. You don't just live for yourself, you live to leave a spiritual legacy. In life, you're suited to be a mentor, a coach, a teacher, a bearer of light. Partners love your sincerity, your passion. But remember, a torch burned out can no longer light the way. Caring for your own heart is how you keep that flame burning forever. Born on December 19, you are the embodiment of freedom. You hate being controlled, hate molds, hate the phrase, "this is how it must be." You need to choose your own path, write your own rules. In life, you can't stand restrictive jobs, controlling partners, binding relationships. But remember, freedom isn't always about leaving. Sometimes true freedom is staying, but still being yourself. Find that place, and you'll find a home for your soul. Born on December 20, you carry an innate drive to reach higher. You refuse to settle for small. You're not satisfied with just enough. You want to do big things, leave a mark, prove, "I was here." In life, you thrive on ambitious projects, goals that exceed the norm. Partners see your bold vision and drive. But remember, ambition is a sail. But don't forget to check your compass. To go far, you need the right direction. A slight adjustment can save you from losing your way in the vast sea. Born on December 21, you possess a power that refuses limits. Rules are challenges, impossible is an invitation. You believe every limit can be broken if you're brave enough, patient enough. In life, you're suited for roles as a pioneer, a trailblazer, a pathfinder. Partners see you as daring, bold. But remember, not every limit is meant to be broken. Some limits are there to protect you. Knowing which walls to climb and which walls to honor, that is true wisdom. Perhaps, after all these arrows, these birth dates, these journeys, you've seen yourself somewhere in these words. a piece of wildness, an unspoken longing, a dream still waiting to take flight. And I believe no Sagittarius is like another. No path is ever repeated. You yourself are a story worth telling, a journey worthy of being heard. And if you're a Sagittarius, leave a comment. What's calling you? What do you long to conquer? What keeps you awake at night? Maybe that will be the inspiration for my next video, a personal reading tailored to what your heart is carrying. What are you searching for? 1. Career and freedom. How to succeed without losing yourself. 2. Love. Can a Sagittarius love deeply without losing their freedom? 3. The journey to find yourself? Comment 1, 2, or 3, and don't forget to hit subscribe, because who knows, the next video might just be the arrow meant for you.